Hey guys, Jacob Molina here with Pro Volumes, and today we're going to be talking about T-nuts. So, T-nuts go in either your rock climbing wall or into volumes and allow for you to put on rock climbing holes with bolts. So, we have a few different T-nuts here today, and we're going to be talking about their differences as well as the differences between indoor T-nuts and outdoor T-nuts. So, let's get into it. To start out, we have pronged T-nuts, and we have two different ones here. We have a 3-pronged T-nut and a 4-pronged T-nut. And as far as these T-nuts go, they are older model T-nuts and typically found in climbing walls built prior to. This used to be the standard, but that standard has changed. And as far as the reasoning for the change is, these were not the best. Typically, when you would get a spinner, it would be because these prongs either bent or just tore out the wood. And I would say the 3-prong is probably the start and the cheaper version. It only has 3 prongs, and those prongs just grip into the wood and bite it. And when you put pressure on it, it shouldn't move because those teeth are dug into the wood. And the 4-prong is the little bit older one, and it has the same principle with those teeth digging into the wood and grabbing and making sure it doesn't move. But that's not always the case. With those, the T-nuts can move, and typically that wood gets bored out or the prongs fold in. So for us, these aren't the best, but they definitely work, and they are the cheapest option. So here we have the commercial T-nut, which has 2 holes for screws, and the screws do come with it. They are just Phillips head screws and screw right in. So basically what you do is drill your hole, place your T-nut in the hole, and place the screws in. And as far as security goes, this is a lot more secure than the 3 and 4-prong T-nuts. Though it can still cause some issues and give you some spinners, typically won't happen as much as the 3 and 4-prong T-nut. So that being said, this is our second choice when using T-nuts and volumes that are on the wall. It's definitely a cheaper version than what we recommend, which is the industrial T-nut. So the industrial T-nut is what we recommend as far as strength goes, and as far as quality. This is our favorite, and this is made by Escape. They did a really good job with the design of this, and I think they put a lot of thought into it, definitely being climbers and having lots of experience inside the climbing industry. So one of the main differences here that you're going to see initially is that it has a wider base. And with that wider base, you are going to get more security when sticking those screws in. It's also easier to stick the screws in just because how much further out it is. With that being said, these T-nuts aren't going to give you as many problems as the 3 and 4-prong, just like the commercial. I would say they are susceptible to possibly having some issues. In our experience using them, it is very unlikely and not as probable, just because that wider base gives it more to grab onto for the wood. The screws have more to grab, meaning it doesn't apply as much force. It evenly distributes it. So in terms of this T-nut, it's our favorite. There's also some other things about it that make it our favorite, and one of those is the guided barrel. So if you guys look at these T-nuts, it doesn't just start out being threaded, which helps those bolts be guided into the threads a lot easier. And with that, you're not going to get as many missed threads and cross-threading. So you're going to save yourself on bolts, and you're going to save yourself on T-nuts. One more reason we love these is because they have a wider base than the other T-nuts, and they can actually go over and fix those holes or kind of chewed out wood and whatnot. So they definitely make for the best replacements of those T-nuts that have went bad. For instance, if the wood gets chewed out by the prongs or the screws or some other reason, these are wide enough that you're not going to be following that same hole that has been made. You're going to be going over it, and so you'll still be able to use that T-nut. So we recommend these, and these are our favorite. It's what we stick in our walls and our volumes. So you guys should be using them too. There are some other things to consider when picking T-nuts, and other than their design, you want to make sure you're picking the right ones for what conditions you're going to be putting them in. And things to consider for that is the material that they are made out of. So typically there's two different types of T-nuts. There is zinc coated T-nuts and stainless steel T-nuts. And the difference between the two is that one is more water resistant and less prone to rust, and that's going to be the stainless steel. And when picking the two, what you need to consider is where you're putting them. So, for instance, if you are in a dry place that doesn't see much moisture, you can definitely go with those zinc ones. They are going to be cheaper, but if you are in the opposite realm where you're in somewhere humid, or you're sticking these T-nuts outside, or these T-nuts are seeing some sort of moisture or temperature fluctuations, you definitely want to go with the stainless steel so you can reduce that risk of rust and oxidation. And with that being said, you can just, when ordering them, specify that you want stainless steel or zinc. And this is definitely something you want to consider, because rusted T-nuts are not fun to take out, nor are they fun to stick bolts in. Also, when considering this, you want to apply the same principle with your bolts for your holes. So for instance, if you're outside or you are near moisture where you are climbing, you definitely don't want to have the zinc bolts. You want to have the stainless steel ones, because they will not be as prone to rust. So now that that's all cleared up and you should have a better idea of what T-nuts to use, we are going to show you how we stick the T-nuts in.